Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary.
Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery.
Thanks for helping me out.
You don't know Latin, do you?
I'm being punished. If it were up to me, I'd still be spending my days in tavern.
I don't envy you. Unfortunately, you're here for the rest.
Would you tell me something?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I wanted...
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to.
Praise be to our Lord.
Servus, God be with you.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus. Touch.
I'd like to ask you something. Who's in charge of things?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work.
I see. Are there any rifts?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know.
What are the roles of the various...
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly. Come now, I don't want to still be showing you around at midnight. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation.
No, Peter has a strong concentration.
Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We will be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn. I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during ceremony. I have the feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm the circator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything's the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
I'd like to ask you something. I'm interested in the monastery.
It was founded by Saint Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some time, but then the order was restored and brothers of the truth faith returned.
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals, in a language foreign to God. They were driven away and their books burned.
Strong constitution. He'll still be on this earth for many years to come.
I wish all good health upon him. But I want change, and only a new abbot can bring that.
Waiting pays off. There's no hurry.
Who would you like to be the...
John, there's no other candidate. Nevertheless just babbles on and on. Don't take him seriously.
Service.
My name's Gregor, and not...
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough.
There's something I should tell you. Something you won't be happy to hear. I'm here to find someone, and,
What do they do in that kitchen?
well, to do away with him.
I bet they
But
keep
listen,
the
it's not
tastiest
murder.
morsels for
Not when it's a
themselves.
man like
Give us
him.
the slop that's left
He's one of the
over.
brigands who burned down Neuhof. He doesn't deserve to live.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him pious because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away here. And as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice. He's one of the novices.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
Well, that's just it. No, but I hope I'll track him down soon. If you find any clue that could lead me to him...
I swear I don't know anything. Except that I'm not the one you're looking for.
It could be you.
What on earth makes you think that? My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a former assassin.
For now, you're the prime suspect.
That can't be true.
Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Isn't that so?
Are you some kind of lunatic, Gregor? Get out of my sight, you rat!
I'm Gregor, and...
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and...
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life, and that any... But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
Is there anything I could help with?
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot Peter is gravely ill. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
What do you need me for?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a mess. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other book. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is
Is there anything you can...
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Celerius could help.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the three wise men were from the East, were they not?
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. They say Brother Solarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over.
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
Ah, this looks like the Saracen language. Ibn al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
Salve Domine. Praise be to Christ.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope...
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the Order. I suggest you get to know...
I'd like to ask you something about...
I've read the abbot's book. It says in there that you're not as saintly as you make out. Actually, it seems like you're as lecherous as a boring rut.
You broke into the abbot's quarters to spy on me? You won't get away with it.
I wasn't interested in your opinion about what I did. What interests me is you and what the book has to say about you.
I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to report you.
Just try it, and I'll smack you so hard your feet won't touch the ground.
No, don't hit me. I won't say anything to anyone, I promise. Praise be to Christ.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
What are you talking about? You clearly know something I don't.
I'm telling you, keep your eye on him. He's no monk. That's what my gut tells me. And my gut's never wrong. What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
That's not your concern.
You should talk to the Circators or the Prior about it, not act on your own.
I'm interested in the other. What can you
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to... I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already. If it was up to me, he'd be out on his ear right away.
Sounds like you don't...
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor, he's hiding something from us. In fact, now I could...
Do you know anything about...
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is...
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. It was hard.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I've heard that you, well, that you enjoy the company of men. Is there any truth to it?
What? How do you know that?
I read it in the abbot's book.
What? The abbot's book is locked up in his chambers, and he'd never allow anyone to read it.
I was looking for something else, but I just happened to come across your... story.
No matter what you were looking for, you crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. But don't worry, I won't tell on you if... Yes, you can call me a sodomite, a sinner, a monster, the spawn of Satan. But tell me this, Gregor. Can I help the way I am? I tell you, it's a test of my faith. A test so daunting you can't even imagine it.
You're right. I found it interesting, but I'm not judging you. You are the way you are. You should be true to yourself.
I'm glad you aren't like the others. Thank you for not passing judgment. I swear to God, I've never lain with another man. I've never sinned. When my father wanted me to find a wife and start a family, I told him the truth, and he had me sent here. And in a way, I was glad. My guilt had been consuming me, and I knew in the monastery I'd find peace. The Lord sees my soul, and he knows it's pure.
I'd like to know something about...
I don't know much.
What can you tell me about...
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except...
You really don't know anything about anyone?
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just...
There's something I should tell you. Something...
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhof farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Talk to him. Then I'll see. Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the impostor I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
What would you like?
I'm interested in... What can you tell me?
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already. If he was up...
I'd like to ask you some...
Salve Domini.
Get out of my sight, you rat!
And it's not the first time.
Talk to me, brother. I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
Someone whose job it is to investigate the case, find the perpetrators and make sure they get the punishment they deserve.
Punishment? Do you intend to punish them here, in the monastery?
I don't know yet. I'm still just on their trail. Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
Things will get worse. I can feel it in my joints.
The things you say.
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are...
You might be wrong. And besides, God will be our protector. What is it, brother?
Or maybe you're the one I'm looking for.
Me? A criminal? Look at me. How could I be? No, my friend, you're accusing the wrong man. If you want my advice, the oddest one around is Siskin. That fellow was never meant to be a monk. He's hiding something from us.
You're most likely right.
Oh, well, I should say so. Thinking I'm...
Get out of my sight, you rat!
What is it, brother?
Or maybe...
Me? A criminal? Look at me.
No, I'm sure of it. It's you. A cowardly, filthy rat. A nasty, spineless piece of shit.
No, I never. It was Siskin. It's him you want, not me. Leave me alone. I never done you any harm. Leave me alone.
Today's food.
Gregor.
What do they do in that kitchen?
I'd like to...
I'll bet they keep the tastiest morsels for themselves. Give us the slop that's left over.
The food's definitely gone downhill. I remember back when we ate like kings.
And the wine. Those were the days.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Salve. Be well.
What would you like?
I found this piece of parchment.
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like...
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharp. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery.
It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place.
Good.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most...
Can you tell me something?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to...
I found a few pages.
Wonderful. Keep looking, then.
Apague, Satanas!
Is someone there?
You! Stop right where you are!
Come on. I'm going to enjoy it.
Bugger!
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You won't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Quite right, brother. Just sit down and drink with us. When the wine runs out, Yorick will fetch more. Servus.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like?
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
Why not? I've had enough opprobria and obedientia for one day.
That's what we like to hear.
Let's play!
Just the man we've been waiting for, my friend. So,
I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
talk to me, brother.
About you and the...
Ask me anything you want.
Tell me something about...
Nevertheless is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a good abbot is beyond me. Enough. I don't even want to hear his name again.
I'd like to know what's...
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our... Nevertheless is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
I'd like to help you if I...
I am convinced Nevlus must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water...
So I should dig something up on him and tell you...
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevlus is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
Once I find something out, I'll tell you. Thank you for answering. I'd like to ask... What can you tell...
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate...
I meant something specific.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him.
I'll say one thing, brother. What is it, brother?
I'd like to... What can you tell me?
What can I say?
I meant something specific.
But you know them yourself. Antonius is hardworking and will help. I'll say one thing, brother. This wine will grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure. It's a bit sour. Who knows what's in it?
Don't be absurd. It's a first-class cask, direct from
What would you like?
I'd like to ask... Can you tell me something?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules, which we still follow. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world, beyond the monastery walls, is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue, the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers changed, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged throughout the ages.
Servus.
Among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, "The fool is not corrected with words." And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from time in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Siren, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters, he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
I think I understand you. But the beast would need to know what deal he's being offered.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
You deserve to die, and I'm happy to be the one to kill you.
I'm sorry to hear that. I thought we could come to an agreement that left both of us alive. But since there's no convincing you, I'll settle for just me.
Fucking hell! That's a good boy. That's my boy.
I've heard some unsettling news. I've been told you've lied about who you are the entire time you've been here.
Well.
What do you have to say about it? Who are you really?
I don't have anything to say. If I'm not me, then you're not you. And that must mean we aren't talking together now.
Enough of that nonsense. Tell me who you are and what you're looking for here.
I'm Carl, or I was, and I was ordered here by my father. What do you mean looking for? I've no idea what you're talking about.
I can find out whether you really are the Carl we accepted here. If you are, no need to worry. All accusations against you will be withdrawn. But until I find out, you'll have to be isolated from the others. Salve. Be well.
Already given my boy a thrashing over this, but once I get my hands on the fiend with whom he cooked up this asinine plan, I will wring his goddamn fucking neck!
Calm down, my lord. You're in a monastery.
The insolence! Help him flee and then pretend to be him?
It's certainly an unfortunate incident, but there's no need for such agitation or profanity. We will take care of it. Ah, that's him! Stop him!
Now I've got you bastard!
Fuck. If I don't kill Pius now, I never will.
Hey, who's
that? Well then.
Yeah, all right.
Clear off.
What are you looking for?
Go, quick,
No one's allowed in
before
here.
I change my mind.
I know you're Pius.
So you're finally sure? Tell me, Gregor, or Carl, or whatever your true name is.
I should kill you.
And why would you want to do that? I was a bandit. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was...
So the evildoer...
Both of us can leave this place.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you a solution that doesn't require any killing. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty.
I don't agree.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Is that the best you can do?
Someone there. Who are you?
was that?
Well, I never.
I've heard some unsettling news.
Salve, be well.
Brother, you've no reason to worry. I'll explain everything. I did join the monastery in order to find someone, that's true. But being here has opened my eyes. I want to become a monk. I am a monk. I've taken the vow, haven't I?
If what I've heard is true, then your vow is invalid.
I swear, I did it for a good reason.
I'd like to believe you, so tell me, why did you come here?
It's true that I'm not who I say I am. I'm not the young Lord Carl. He ran away and sent me in his place.
Why would you agree to that?
Money. I was drowning in debt, and the money from Sir Carl helped my family stay afloat. Carl never wanted to become a monk, but Father, I found peace here in the monastery. It's better for me to serve God here than continue my life of sin in the world outside.
Thank you for your honesty. Because you've told the truth, I'll forgive you for deceiving us. Continue to be an exemplary monk, and I promise I'll forget about what's happened. Well, unless someone from Sir Carl's family intervenes, then I'll have no choice. I'll have to deal with the situation.
Thank you for your kindness, brother.
Talk to me, brother.
I know you're pious.
So you're finally sure? Tell me.
I don't know.
Well, at least you're prepared to think and not just play bloodhound for a pack of nobodies. And I'm glad you have your doubts.
I don't want to be like the people I'm looking for. If I have to kill, it should be for a reason, not because I enjoy it.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth...
So the evildoer changed...
Both of us can leave this place.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another. Before we make a... There we'll split up.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow. That sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Getting the keys won't be easy.
I know, But Brother Solarius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, there'll be... Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at...
They both sound hard to me. But needs must. And where am I supposed...
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's...
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And try to be... And Gregor...
Genitum non factum, consus.
Can't you see we're at Mass?
Salve, Domine.
This is not a good time. Not now, brother. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Let none ere be said rather early. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here. Not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working?
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you.
I'd like to ask...
Conversation, we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth.
Praise be to Christ.
Is there any way I could...
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery.
Should I find out for you what's going on, Rap?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order.
Very good, then.
Thank you, brother.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. I want you to prepare 2 marigold decoctions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
Salve. Be well.
What do you desire?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. What do you desire? Benedicta tu in
Talk to me, brother.
I found a few...
Wonderful.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Oh no, such a waste of parchment. How could you?
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
Salve Domine.
Get away from that cabinet. The books stored there aren't for your eyes to see. What troubles you?
What troubles you?
Is it possible to learn?
Only the abbot and...
And can I see them?
No.
I'd like to ask you.
God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his word will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the Abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of Abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of science, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters, he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
Peace be with you, brother. Servus.
Someone really reeked at Matters. You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there. And it's not the first time.
It's a mixture, but one that'll be soon sold. It's a wonder the friar doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get his man.
Peace be with you.
There'll be no peace. Sure as the sun circles the earth, you know how to live with the fellow spirits.
The responsibilities given up.
I tell you, something is going to happen out there. You might be wrong.
Salve Domine.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
how they dominate.
Then he'd soon get his back. Everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get his man.
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
We'd be safer not to get mixed up in the affairs of our superior brethren.
You're probably right, but I was naive and hoped I could fix things.
I warned them if they didn't stop, I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offenses, or for no offense at all.
Is there something I can do to help?
Would you? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight, then they'd leave me alone. But I'm afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
I'm not afraid of them.
Brother, you have the courage I lack. May the grace of God be upon you.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Listen, brother.
Oh, yes? And what sort of thing are you talking about, exactly?
The food's definitely gone downhill. Get out of my sight, you rat!
What would you like?
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for...
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Soler.
These novices. Leave me alone.
slop that's left over.
The food's definitely gone downhill. I remember back when we ate like kings.
And the wine. Those were the days.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.